What up, nice guys? Today we're going to talk about the biggest issues and problems with single mothers. Or you as a nice guy get into a relationship with a single mother. I'll start this off by saying single mothers in themselves aren't necessarily bad people. And also, you have different types and levels of single motherhood. But it's kind of off the cuff. But the biggest issue with single mothers, I'll say, is that a lot of times single mothers aren't healed, and because they aren't healed, you basically or unintentionally become the Build-A-Bear, the Build-A-Woman type of guy. Is that a bad thing for her? No. It could be potentially a bad thing for you. And the reason why it's potentially a bad thing for you is because you are already strong. You're so strong that you're able to actually take on her visible or sometimes invisible insecurities, lack of confidence, and a bunch of other things. And I think a lot of times you actually make her feel weak, because really in actuality she is weak, and you're basically holding her up. And a lot of times you as a nice guy, you're actually taking her out of the clay and out of the place she's stuck in. A lot of times you'll be there to be at the shoulder to cry on. You'll be the person to help take care of kids, get her kids through hard times. I help deal with the biological father. And, you are the person sometimes she'll stand on to push herself higher, because once she gets healing, once she gets stable, she gets her baddie attitude back, if that's the type of person she is, she's basically going to consider you as less than a man. Now, in reality, you are the man, because you basically built her up, and the only reason why she's standing is because of you. But because she probably has some type of image she wants to uphold or capture, she's basically going to use you as a sacrificial lamb. And this doesn't apply to all single mothers, but I think it does apply to most. Because why else would you go out and chance being with a certain type of man, end up a single mom, and then have to settle, which is what women say, right? They settle for the nice guy. But in reality, they would never qualify for the guy that they actually want. And I use the word qualify very loosely. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times the guys that these women want aren't really that good at guys in the first place. Because if you have to pay, if you got to pay that man's bills, or if she has to be the one that provides and protects the guy that she actually likes, even though she considers that man alpha, she is actually the man in the relationship to a great degree, because she's the one that's being responsible. She's taking care of her kids, she's taking care of herself, and a lot of times she's taking care of that guy as well. So worst part about it is if she tags you along, drags you along, and she uses you as the financial source to help take care of him. That's even worse. But that's how that dynamic goes. But it's also a sign, in my opinion, of a woman that's not really that strong. She has the appearance, she has the talk, she has the attitude of a bad, a boss chick or whatever, but she's really not. She's all talk for you. She's the man for the dude the bad boy that she really wants. But she's still, in a lot of cases, going to try to rely on you because you're the strongest thing she knows. You're the most stable thing she knows. The second thing I would say is the man itself. The man she chose to have a kid with. 9 times out of 10, the man she picked to have a kid with is just not a very good guy. Or he's not a man as far as on man standards. Because 1, he left her. 2, if you have to take care of the kids financially, emotionally, that means he's not a good, male role model in the first place. He's not a good leader. Even though the woman is letting her, she's following him, but that don't make him a good leader. Let's put it that way. She's following him not because he has good leadership abilities, which I think is a common misconception. He may have a persona of a man. He may have the look of a man. He may have the strength of a man. But he doesn't really have he doesn't take responsibility as a man. And those type of guys are just like those women. They're really just fake alphas. And so leadership is more than just looking like a leader. But the modern woman today, she is looking for a certain look. She's not really looking for a certain character, even though she says she does. And usually when a woman says to you, I don't feel like he can lead me, it basically means she ain't sexually attracted to you. Plain and simple. And I would challenge any woman that says otherwise. Now, is it possible for her to find a guy that meets all those criteria? Yes. Highly unlikely. The proof that dude is not worth anything for her is the fact that he let her become a single mom in the first place. She does not acknowledge it. The dude knows it. Because if that dude was any type of man and he was any type of leader, he would actually marry that woman, commit to her. Because in reality, now the funny part about it, she already basically done sold her soul to him. So he's more safe in the relationship as a straight up bum than you are in the relationship as a man who actually is able to buy a house, take care of the house, take care of her, take care of her kids, plan for the future, even have another kid with her. Alright? He has more insurance in that relationship being married to that woman than you do as the one who actually is her rock. Or it could be her rock. Alright? So, and then on top of that, the woman is still more than likely, in most cases, she has strong enough to recognize the mistakes, strong enough to change who they are, and strong enough to stay away from men like him and not ever be with men like him again, are actually worth your time. And I think there are very few women that are in that category, especially nowadays with all this feminism junk. So she is more than likely, she's still stuck on that dude. And if she's still stuck on that dude, there's no way in the world that you're going to be able to get into her heart, because it's already occupied. And so that second issue with is the man, and how that man actually, the role that man plays in her life. And then you could also have, now you have this new societal pressure for women who get basically impregnated by guys who probably have multiple baby mamas. They want them to get back with those dudes, which is not a bad thing. But the problem is you got a guy who's got like 6 baby mamas. You can only be with one of them. Plain and simple. And if he's with all of them, he's in a poly relationship. And then the sad part about the poly relationship is the next narrative is you got these knuckleheads, these other guys, these other guys saying that, and some women, men are meant to be with one woman. Alright, fine. If that's true, men were never with one woman in the Bible or in other cultures and blah, 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 blah. If that was true, they would still be married to that man. Plain and simple. Right? So technically, if that's true, that man should not only be married to all those women, he should be financially able to take care of all those women. Lead all those women. Take care of all those kids. Plain and simple. Otherwise, this poly stuff is really just a gray area that guys use to justify their action. And in my opinion, that justification is kind of like what women do a lot of times. It's a man is going to say, all right, this is what I believe. This is what I do. This is what makes it right. He's going to be able to tell you why it's right. Not provide some type of justification for bad behavior. But that's just me. The third problem or issue with single mothers is the kids themselves. The kids themselves, because you have the interaction of the biological mom, you got the interaction of the biological father, if he's even there, and how they view you in the situation. So in a perfect world, you, being the stepdad, would have the respect of the the biological father and the biological mother. That is the only situation you can really be in with the most potential for peace with a single mother. If you don't have the respect of the biological father and the biological mother, at minimum you got to have it of the biological mother. If you don't have that, she's not a good investment for you. On top of that, because if you don't have that respect, well, one reason, if you don't have the respect of the mom, the kids ain't going to respect you, first of all. Now, if you do have the respect of the mom, the biological father can always come in and sabotage that. And you got some in my opinion, I don't think they're the strongest guys to be able to deal with that. If you put a woman in a situation where she's got to be married to another man other than you messed up. Alright? And in that situation, you got to deal with the consequences. And a lot of men who are biological fathers, now I'm not talking about in every situation, I'm talking about irresponsible men. Because nowadays you have guys who are responsible, and they have women that are actually making them becoming single mothers by choice, by dumb choice. Alright? I'm talking about biological fathers who actually go out there, they sew on